What is going on, everyone? My name is Myles Farrington. I'm here with my co-hosts,
Adam Leonard.
And Jordan Loeffler.
And we are here to bring you episode 145 of the MONG podcast. This one is called What Are You Guilty Of? That'll make sense in a little while, of course, as it does with most shows, if the name has anything to do with Thought from Nowhere, which they usually do. Anyway, Editor-in-Chief, what's going on with the site right now?
All right, well, since our last episode, we've had a Hitman Episode 6 review by Riley Berry. We've had Brett Williams' $9.99 is the right price for Super Mario Run. Brett Williams, 5 games for our post-election reality. Chris Cobb's feature, Top 5 Underrated Video Game Cartoons. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Sounds like some good stories. I heard that they're trying to charge $10 for Super Mario Run. Is that right?
That seems to be the case.
That's a little silly. There aren't many mobile games worth $10, and that is.
Well, you can take it up with Brett.
I mean, it sounds like we agree personally. Or wait,
he said it's the right price.
Oh, he says the right price. Okay, never mind.
Yep.
He's silly. But moving on, what's been going on with? Oh no, recruitment. I forgot about recruitment. If you, all viewers, listeners, whatever you. If readers, I guess if somebody's like transcribing this for some reason, if you would like to,
I would love to see a transcription of this show.
I don't want to because I would feel really bad for them because they took that time out to transcribe this, and I'd be like, I respect that you're doing what you're doing, and I thank you, but go do something else.
That is the time you're never getting back in your life.
Exactly. Unless they're like listening to the podcast and transcribing it extremely accurately just from one listen, it's just like, okay, I guess you're just doing something while you're listening. Regardless, if you would like to join the Mong podcast, whether you would like to make video content, if you're a graphic artist, if you like to write, or hey, if you would like to be a official podcast transcriber, we'd love to see your applications. If you look down at the bottom of wherever you're watching or listening this, there should be a link that says application. There you go. Go send in an application. We'd love to see it. Even if you feel like you have some weird talent that might not be useful, we'd still like to hear what it is. We might be able to find a place for you. So yeah, that's how that goes. And in 2 seconds, Adam, what's been going on with you, buddy?
It's actually been a pretty cool week. I spent bunches of money. I now actually am the proud owner of a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Okay.
And a new 50-inch 4K TV.
Oh, nice.
So I finally just made the jump up, kind of upgraded my rig. So there's that. I should have been playing a bunch of games on it, you would think, but instead I discovered over the week that there was a 24-episode Danganronpa anime that I had not seen. It's basically kind of awesome. It serves as both a prequel and a sequel to the 3 games, and basically caps like this first set of games story-wise. And it's really, really good. If you like Danganronpa, the anime series, which you can watch on Funimation, is really amazing. It like just fleshes out a lot of stuff that they kind of go over just slightly, or is harder to grasp within like the content of the game. Gets explained a lot better. There's like a lot more building of the characters you like. I'm on episode 23 out of 24 right now. Give it a high recommendation. And I picked up Dishonored 2. I'm going to start that tonight once I finish it.
I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about. Oh, Myles has things to say about Dishonored.
I've been watching streamers play it all week, and I've seen the ending, and I went from being like, "Oh, this looks fun," to I don't ever want to spend money on this game. So,
wow,
it'll be interesting to see what your opinion is.
Are there multiple endings though? Because I remember in the first one there was 2 different endings, wasn't there?
I've seen both endings. They're both really bad.
So you think that like just based on the ending alone it's not worth playing?
That's my opinion. A lot of games, if I see the ending, I'll lose drive to play it just because I know what's going to happen. So there's nothing.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us is a good example. I saw the ending of that like a few days after it came out, and I was just like, I don't ever care to play this game. But like I said, I went from liking it and wanting to get it, so that says, yeah, I like the gameplay. I think it looks cool. But just like I saw the ending, I was just like, now I really don't want to get it. Not just because I've seen the ending, because I've seen both of them. They're both really bad, and personally, I was watching them, and after having watched the vast majority of the game, I'm just like, this doesn't... Oh, okay, guys who made Dishonored, I guess that's cool.
But But interesting, because as somebody who's not been spoiled, if like the gameplay is sound, it feels like it's still worth playing. Even if I go like, that ending wasn't so great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's my personal hangups. Like, I didn't like the Mass Effect 3 ending, but I had already played the game. I think that's a great game. I just don't like the ending. In this case, it's just like, I've seen the ending. I didn't like it. I don't want to buy it.
I kind of understand that to an extent. I mean, like when I go into a movie or like a book or something like that, I generally like going into it without knowing anything about it. Like if I can know like what genre it is and that's it, I'll have a decent idea of whether or not I'm going to like it. Gaming, I don't treat the same way, but I can understand that. I get it.
Yep. So that's my opinion. But
so,
I hope you.
Anyways, I'm going to be interested to hear what Adam has to say about the ending then once he eventually gets there. Because it'll be. I remember a lot of people really liked the ending of the original Dishonored, because it for a lot of people felt rewarding if you played it a certain way. So it'll be interesting to hear your opinion.
And cool fact, actually, because I think it's only because I bought it like within like the weekend or the couple of days or so from when it came out. My copy actually came with the definitive edition of the original game too.
Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Have you played the original?
I have, and I dug it. Problem was like around that time I'd just gotten a new gaming laptop, and I just wasn't very good at finishing games on a laptop. I just like laptop gaming wasn't really for me, at least like traditional games. And so it was one of those games that kind of got lost in the mix because I bought it for my laptop, and so I wound up, spending hours with it, but then just kind of not finishing it. Okay. Like I said, nothing against the game. The game itself was great.
Well, it happens. What can we say? Now, before we move on, have you actually? I know you said you haven't played much games or many games in the PS Pro so far, but have you played anything on it yet?
I've dabbled around a little bit with like Mafia and WWE 2K17.
Okay. Did you notice any like market improvements, or was there anything that popped out at you that was like, this is why I should have a Pro?
It looked pretty. To be real honest, I am. I've been trying not to obsess too much because I think that you could try to trick yourself into seeing something that's not. So it looks really good, but I wouldn't say I'm in a position to say whether I could give a definitive moment where I thought it looked markedly better or not. Okay. While I like having new technology and I was long overdue for a television upgrade, to be honest, I've never been one of those people that's like super, super like honed in when it comes to like, I've never been like one of those real like graphic fanatic people that can tell the difference between like frame rates and, all that kind of stuff, like graphic settings and that kind of thing. That I've never been somebody who's really picked up like the small kind of like subtle stuff like that.
Okay. Well, there you go. I guess we'll have to see if you notice anything that's amazing down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a good way to go into it, Adam. Like, just kind of not trying to let your expectations get too far away from you. But I really don't think you're gonna see anything spectacular until a first-party game comes out post PS4 Pro launch.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Which I'll have plenty of time to play now, which we'll get to in just a little bit.
Oh yeah, I get what you're getting at. See it right there. But before that, Jordan, what's been going on with your week?
So my wife was out of town this past weekend, so I had a decent amount of time to dedicate to gaming, but I didn't do much. So not anything all that different from last week's. I played a little bit more Skyrim, and I think I mentioned last week that the two of us are playing a character together. So I didn't want to get into anything that would be like super game changey. So I just like did smithing and enchanting and crap like that, and played a little bit more of Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy. So still having fun with both of them. She got a 3DS for Christmas, like as an early Christmas present. and she's loving it. She got like Animal Crossing or something, and she's gonna be getting Pokemon later this week. So
nice.
Was that from you or from the family?
that was from her family.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
The new 3DS.
But no,
Nice.
like
XL.
which one was it? Was it the really pretty like Galaxy one?
Oh no, it's like a ruby red thing.
That's disappointing, man. It's so disappointing.
I didn't get it for. All right, I
All
saw
of
it and I
them?
was like, that's not the one I would have gotten yet, but I'm glad you got it.
Which one would you have gotten her?
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
There's
too far,
one
but
answer that doesn't get you kicked off the podcast.
Is it a Galaxy one?
There you go. Adam's got it. In terms of me, my week's been as you might be able to hear, I'm not dying of nasty mucus throat death anymore, so that's really nice. I went to the doctor, and that's the whole where the shot thing came into play. That happened before podcast, so anybody that's listening doesn't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they're like, hey, Flonase. I'm like, oh, I wish I would have known that, like, a week ago when I was hacking up my lungs constantly. And then I won a Ubisoft Montreal hat, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like, I went into a streamer's chat, and I was like, he's like giving away stuff, and he puts on the hat. I'm like, oh, that's a cool hat. I could really use one of those. It's getting cold over here. And then like 2 seconds later, one of his mods was like, congratulations on winning the hat. And like for the next 4 minutes, I was just like, are you messing with me? Because you're a mod. So I feel like you wouldn't, but that was too perfect. So yeah, that was cool. And I actually picked up a game that I've been playing very frequently. It's called DC Legends, actually on the phone. There are definitely microtransactions, but it's one of those games that you can play around them. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it'd be nice if I could pay, if I have money to throw at this game, it'd make it easier, but it's actually pretty fun. It's like a active battle turn-based game, like Final Fantasy VII, timers and everything. And it's not like deep, it's not super deep, it's pretty like straightforward. There's a rock, paper, scissors kind of damage system where it's like, if your character is red or strength, I guess, they're going to beat a character that is blue for magic, and blue for magic beats green for Green Lanterns and stuff. I don't know what that actually is supposed to be. I guess I want to say technology, but that doesn't really make sense. So yeah, that's what I've been playing a lot actually. It's pretty fun, honestly. Like I would not have expected it to be as fun as it is, but it is. I was checking the overlay, and it's like, it says Tuesdays, so it's right now. It's not Tuesday
I looked
right
at
now.
it actually. I saw it and I was like, good job, Myles.
Yep, I remembered. I think I did that right after the last podcast. It's off center though. That really bothers me. That was something I can't fix, but it bothers me. But anyway, moving on from that, we're gonna go ahead and jump into
the news from nowhere.
There we go. Thank you very much, Decker Kane, for that. So first bit of story that we're going to cover this week is Nvidia. That title. Nvidia and Nintendo contributed a fair amount. Whatever. Nvidia and Nintendo's relationship. The Nintendo Switch is rapidly approaching the market, and Nvidia has been working closely with Nintendo in providing hardware for the upcoming console. But it seems the company is more than excited to work with Nintendo. According to Nvidia's latest earnings report, the company's relationship with the Japanese gaming giant is a vital part of their gaming division's revenue under Q3 2016. Transcribed over at Seeking... I'm just going to read the quotes, actually. As you know, and this is coming from the Nvidia CEO and co-founder, that is a very Chinese name. Zhen Sun Suang.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Stated that Nintendo contributed a fair amount to the company's growth, praising the use of Nvidia graphics and the Switch. As you know, the Nintendo architecture and the company tends to stick with an architecture for a very long time. And so we've worked with them now for almost 2 years, which is kind of explains some things that might have happened, but we'll get into that later. Not just that, Wong also gave high praises to Nintendo, arguing that the upcoming Switch will turn out to be an innovative piece of hardware on the market. I quote, I really believe when everybody sees it and enjoys it, they're going to be amazed by it. And so I think it's a relationship that will most likely last 2 decades, and I'm super excited about it. And I'm just stumbling over reading right now. Whatever, you get the idea. So yeah, that's the high points of this article. Those are the most important things to say. This might explain what happened to the Shield. Just saying. Not that that was like something that was flying off the shelves, but still. What do you just think?
This to me feels like they're trying to get out ahead with some of their marketing on the hardware, like specs, without specifying what the specs are. I mean, Nintendo's already said that they're not going to talk about it until 2017, but it doesn't mean that Nvidia can't talk about it until 2017. And so I think that they're just trying to basically say, look, Nvidia's involved, and like they really want to, work with us for a long time. It's a very strong relationship, which is encouraging, but at the same time, like, doesn't tell us anything. And so if you're not really paying closer attention, you're not going to realize that we still don't know anything about it.
Right.
True. Well, you have any thoughts, Adam?
It does kind of feel like the way they worded that really wants us to just keep on reminding, just remember, we're going to keep on making these in the future. There's going to be other consoles. But I'm going to try to reserve my judgment until I have all the cards on the table. I just got to know what Nintendo's got and what they're working with. Once I know that, then maybe I can go back and take a look at this and see what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spoilers, they're actually roping Nintendo into this. They're like, now you can't get rid of us because we already said we're going to be working together for a few years. Of course, I'm joking. I don't know what's going on over there. But regardless, let's talk about something sad. I was wondering what you were doing.
God damn it, Adam.
Is this death music? Because I'm not really...
It's like sad music from Persona 4.
Okay, alright. I didn't know. I figured it was from Persona because what we're
It's
going
whenever
into.
something super dramatic happens, that's when the song plays.
Well, now we know.
Anyways, we just found out today, just kind of breaking, that Persona 5 has been delayed in the US and Europe until April 4th, 2017. A delay for the Western release of Persona 5 has been announced during the Let Us Start the Game livestream event for the sake of not compromising on the localization quality of the game. The new release date for the game will be April 4th, 2017 in North America and Europe, delayed from its previous release date of February 14, 2017. To refine the English script, the game has been delayed. Additionally, it has been confirmed that the English version will contain free dual audio for the Japanese language as well. Finally, a playable build of Persona 5 will be available at the PlayStation Experience on December 3rd and 4th. Also, in case anybody didn't see, for 24 hours, there's a free Persona 5 theme available for your PS4 at the PS Store.
Is that still available right now?
It should be, yep.
Let's go ahead and grab that. Sorry for the typing noise.
So okay, I guess I feel a couple things about this. I am a little bummed because I am really excited for this game.
Mm-hmm.
But overwhelmingly more so is that I'm so excited for this game, and I'm so appreciative of the talents of Atlas that, if they need a little more time to make this like the best possible game, take it, because I trust you guys, and I know that it's going to be that much more amazing when it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to be completely honest, in some ways this is almost a minor relief because, Q1 2017 game-wise is a very, very busy time. And so, so while, the downside is, unfortunately, I won't get to play this as soon as I wanted to, there are definitely games like Horizon Zero Dawn that were coming out almost at the same time. Mm. All of a sudden, I have time now to play them, too.
This is true. This is very, very true. I'm always watching podcasts, and I was listening to some people's opinions on just how their gaming libraries have just been, mainly it's gaming journalists, so of course they get the games for free, or they, have a library that they can easily access, but they're talking about how their game libraries just stacks up and just gets deeper and deeper, the more releases. So I can understand some people being more accepting, if not exciting, of this silver lining where it's okay, I'm not getting this game I'm really excited for when I want it, but I got time now. I got time to waste. So I know that's exactly what you just said, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Adam, you're kind of right. Like, every time that another game was announced for like around February, I kept thinking to myself, well, I can't play that because Persona 5 is going to be coming out. And basically, it was like the following 2 months after that, I was like, well, I'm not going to be playing that because Persona 5 is coming out. So, it is nice that my schedule is cleared up a little bit more. But it was so perfect that it was going to be on Valentine's Day. Like, it was going to be so great.
Well, at least your girlfriend will get to see you now on Valentine's Day. Or your wife, sorry.
My wife. Yeah, that's true. She probably wasn't excited to play too, though.
I'm excited for them to polish it up. Because I really think that Persona 5, I think it's not even a hype thing. I really believe in my heart of hearts it's going to be a fairly immaculate game when it comes out, and that's already been kind of confirmed with like the general impressions and the reviews that have come out of its Japanese release. So, make them, just take your time, make it amazing, because that's really what is important.
I'm just very surprised still though that the localization is going to take that long. I don't know. That seems strange. Unless they did it in order to get the dual audio right, but I don't know.
Well, I think there's a certain amount of pressure on them because I think it would probably be fair to say, and maybe it's just my own knowledge of the product, but it does kind of feel like perhaps the popularity of Persona has grown greatly between 4 and 5. And so there is, I think, perhaps an interest that has grown, particularly out because of the Vita release of PlayStation or Persona 4 Golden, that there's a fan base that maybe wasn't there before, and so there is extra pressure to make this as good as possible.
That makes sense. Now, I'm going to say this. It went from releasing in February to releasing in April. And April, it is releasing against, currently this is what our calendar has on it, Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. So, I think you're going to have, in May, the only game that's on the calendar so far, is Battalion 1944, and that's to be announced. So they don't even have a specific date for that. And then the next thing is Bard's Tale 4 in October. So I think you're good. I think you're gonna have ample time to really get in your Persona 5ing.
Well, it's interesting too that they moved it because I would doubt that they moved it to get out of the way of other games, because I kind of feel like Persona is really a game for a very specific genre of gamers,
especially compared to what's out that month. Saying.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think that they're in danger of losing an audience to these other games, though maybe Atlas and maybe PlayStation are hoping to find a new audience for this game, and that's why they're trying to move it to a spot where they might be able to get some people to pay attention to it that might not have otherwise.
I don't know. They must have been really worried about Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. That game looks awful. I'm just saying. But yes, we lament the delay of Persona 5, but it'll be a better game for it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, now we get to actually play Horizon.
Yes, I'm excited for that, because that does look like a really good game.
Personally, I was going to play Horizon over Persona anyway, but yes. But moving on from that, what's going on, Jordan?
So apparently, there have been some rumors going around that there's a Marvel game in development by Telltale.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like some teasiness is out there. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was an unexpected delight, pulling audiences into humor-infused world of Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, and a host of others. Its success warranted an upcoming sequel, and if reports are to be believed, a game from Telltale. According to documents from SAG-AFTRA and scoured by comicbookmovie.com, the title is under production with a working name of Blue Harvest. It's credited to O'Farrell Industries, which, considering a companion listing of The Walking Dead Season 3, is likely a front of sorts for Telltale. Telltale has shown a knack for adapting comics before with The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, and the new Batman series, as well as an ability to tell stories with a light touch and tales from the Borderlands. If this is indeed legit, the Guardians of the Galaxy game could be a fun fit.
Yeah, good. Guardians of the Galaxy has that specific kind of mixture of characters that's like, these guys are screw-ups apart, and they're screw-ups together, but they're funny screw-ups together.
Yeah. I think Telltale could really hit a home run on this one.
Mhm.
What I think will be interesting is to see if they decide to follow the comics and the movies, though.
Well,
Good.
no, go.
I was gonna say, well, okay, I was gonna say that I wonder if it's gonna follow the movies to try to build up synergy with Guardians 2, but they could really do that without even necessarily being directly connected to the movie. Just having the names Guardians of the Galaxy out there
Mhm.
is gonna make, at the same time as the movie, is gonna make it sell like gangbusters.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I kind of hope they go with the comics, or just actually screw it. I kind of hope they make their own original story. Really, I mean, it might not be super canonical, but and to anyone who doesn't know what that means, it means like it's part of the lore. And if you are talking about the game, you would have to include, or talking about the comics, you'd have to include this event as happening in the same lore. But yeah, I would like to see that just because I feel like they've got the humor that we saw from Borderlands. I think they could really push this group as like how they're supposed to be, and I feel like they could probably make a good story of them. It could be very Borderlands-esque, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying they should do that. It should be something fresh, but it could be, and it would work here.
Surprise! It's actually going to be a crossover with their Walking Dead series.
I would be so unhappy.
Well, there's Guardians of the Galaxy is a crossover with every other series.
It's just like a big old Telltale Mountain melting pot, like all of their IPs in one big game.
I mean, I don't know about Batman. I don't know if Batman's actually like tied to any comic storyline for Batman. But like The Walking Dead is tied to the comic books version of The Walking Dead. The Wolf Among Us, obviously, tied to.
Yeah.
Pause for 2 seconds. Their Walking Dead is like it's in the same universe, but it's a different group, right?
So it's a different group, but like you meet up with other characters from the series, the original series, and so like where once in a while, I think it was mostly just the first season, but like where they are is where they would be in the comics, not necessarily in the show.
Okay.
So the same characters from the comics and the show. So for example, Glenn is like on the farm, but like Rick and his group isn't there, and so that follows like something that's going on in the comics, whereas in the show, like Glenn doesn't get to the farm until everyone else does too.
Okay.
So there's that, and also like there's the Michonne series for The Walking Dead, which is totally from the comics, doesn't follow Michonne from the show at all. So I think they've shown that they have a bit of faithfulness to the comic book content of the series that they're using. And I mean, it's slightly different with Game of Thrones too, though. I mean, they decided to follow the show rather than the books. And I think they'll do it in a way where it doesn't really matter. I think you're right. They'll just use different characters and like tie it into the universe, and make it so that basically it doesn't matter if you've played or if you've read the books or watched the movie, and you just are in.
Well, yeah, I believe they really can, just because Guardians of the Galaxy has that potential since they're in space, which is unbeknownst to. It doesn't really seem like it, but actually a lot of Marvel stuff, a lot of Marvel heroes and villains have never been to space, which is something that seems kind of weird when you really think about it. But like, it's always a kind of a thing for them when like someone when one of them goes out into space or comes in from space. So they have like a lot to work with, because Marvel's outer space stuff is, we know about like Thanos and Galactus and stuff like that, but like there's a lot of like deep cuts characters that like no one knows about, or just like enemies. Literally, they have all of Marvel space to work with, so they could just create something new to deal with, or like some kind of new situation that we've never heard of, just because it's like, we're Telltale and we have the rights to this for right now, so we're gonna do whatever we want. That's our thing. So there we go.
Cool.
All right. Segues on point tonight. It's my turn. So, if anyone's excited for PlayStation Experience 2016, I guess I kind of am. There's been a little bit of information of what we're going to see there. So, a number of major publishers and developers, including Naughty Bog. Yeah, those Naughty Dog guys. Naughty Dog, Activision, Ubisoft, EA, and more have been confirmed to appear at Sony's 2016 PlayStation Experience. Specific titles were not announced alongside the list of revealed companies attending the show, but more details will be coming soon, according to the post on PlayStation Blog. Excuse me. Along with the conference, people attending the event will be able to get their hands on a slew of new and upcoming PS4 and PSVR games on the show floor, and to see a near final list of the over 60 exhibitors attending PSX. You can check out the official announcement. So yeah, that was not really a lot of information there, but it's just kind of like these are people we're going to see. So from EA is handling the new Star Wars game, correct? Is that right? Or am I completely off?
Yeah, you're talking about the one that Amy had examples.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that. I'm hoping to see that.
Might be pretty early for that.
No, it's never too early. Wait, didn't they show like that? I know it was really crappy.
Like the
but they
5
had
second.
Yeah, the 5 second.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be 10 seconds, Jordan. Yeah, but I'd like to see that. Is there anything like from this list that you all would really like to see?
Let me pull this list up.
So one thing that I know is going to be there, and it's because of the previous story that we were talking about on Persona 5, is going to be there. So that's going to be cool. It's not going to be anything like super new. If you wanted to know a lot about it, I'm sure you could find out a lot about it because the Japanese version came out. But that's going to be kind of cool. I think the thing that I'm most excited for from PlayStation Experience is the stuff that I don't expect.
Yeah.
And I just really want to see what the conference is like. I'm not going there personally, although I'd love to. But maybe that's down the line. Otherwise, I don't have really an interest on what's going to be on the show floor.
I was kind of disappointed that From Software wasn't on the list because, admittedly, it's probably like a bit of a pipe dream for now. But I'm starting to get itchy for the concept of Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
I really think it's probably going to happen, but I would like it to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, they own the IP, so it's nothing. I don't think From is going to be working on any more Souls games. I think that Bloodborne is probably our best chance at seeing a new Souls game, just because it was very successful and PlayStation owns it, so they're going to do whatever they want with it. Now, is it going to be a bit of a bastardization if From doesn't work on it? Maybe, but we'll see.
There seems to be some indication that From may still be, because I remember a story came out a while ago where they said they're working on multiple projects, one of which will be pleasing or some verbiage to Souls fans. So you'd think that maybe this is what that's referencing.
I know. Go for it, Myles.
No, I was just gonna make a joke. I can hold it.
I know that they've said that their next games are going to be Souls-esque. I mean, like, they're going to have elements of Souls games. Like, that's kind of what the team works on. They're not going to go from, what they're working on right now to some sort of, like, I would say sci-fi or something like that, or just something like totally off the wall, like a platformer or something like that. I think what we get out of them next is going to be very similar to a Souls game, but it won't be a Souls game proper.
Bloodborne.
Or they come out with a title called Light Souls, where you play as the villains and you're trying to get the souls of the good guys.
Oh.
I think they stole the idea we came up with from that one episode where we came up with the Harvest Moon Dark Souls like crossover type of thing.
That was a good idea.
I vaguely remember that. Hey, if that's what they're coming out with, there you go.
No, but they're Bloodborne 2, that would blow my mind.
Harvest Souls. That's a wonderful title.
That's a great title.
Harvest Souls.
We probably came up with that during that episode, but if we didn't, Myles, you're a genius.
Maybe. I don't remember. But yeah. So, there we go. Everyone's excited to hear more about PSX and when it actually happens and all that. Yeah. So yeah. Moving on. Adam. Go.
Well, as it's
horrible.
Watch Dogs
Horrible.
2 came out just on Tuesday, and a lot of people seem to be really digging it. But there's a few naughty gamers out of there. Instead of watching dogs, are watching cats.
You're a horrible person.
Oh, I got it.
Apparently, Sony has banned a gamer for sharing full frontal nudity Watch Dogs 2 images. Sharing screenshots or footage of Watch Dogs 2's full frontal nudity may get your account suspended after accidentally taking down some female NPCs during a playthrough of Ubisoft's new open world shooter. Adam, a UK QA tester, not this Adam, I promise you, used the PlayStation 4 share feature to screenshot a fallen character seemingly wearing crotchless panties. On Sunday evening, I accidentally blew up a few women in a back alley with a gas pipe, and then I saw it. Adam wrote on NeoGaf, very classy. I took a picture of the funny oversight with the in-game camera and shared it on Twitter for my friends to see, and I posted it in one of the Watchdog early release threads on there. Cut to tonight when I can't access any services while playing the game, and then when I tried to sign in, there was a very brief message about my account being suspended. PlayStation Network's terms of services make it clear that defamatory or offensive materials breach your contract, stating you should not share anything that is vulgar or use community features to harm or alarm anyone. Content of an adult or sexual nature is against our code of conduct, Sony said in an email to Adam. The suspension will last 1 week. You won't be able to access online multiplayer, PlayStation Store, and any other network features until the suspension is over. We ask all of our players to act decently, respectfully, and with consideration for us and other players while using PlayStation Network. To make sure you understand the behavior we expect from our community, please review the code of conduct here before returning to PlayStation Network. Please be aware of any further breaches of code of conduct may result in longer suspensions or even a permanent ban. I'm not just looking for justice or lifting of the ban, really, Adam added later on Twitter. I'd just like to get to spark a convo about how platform holders should handle community content as games push boundaries of what's acceptable. They're happy to sell these products and use sharing for free promotion. And then there looks like there was a little update here. It looks like this was a statement from Ubisoft where they followed up to the story. They said, "We're aware that one of the NPCs in Watch Dogs models in one of the NPC models in Watch Dogs 2 is written in a way that is particularly explicit. While Watch Dogs 2 is a mature-rated game, we apologize and will update the NPC model to make it more consistent with other NPC models in the game in a patch to be released this week. We are also working with our first-party partners to ensure that players can continue to play and share all content from the game within the bounds of a first party's respective codes of conduct."
That's so just to add on, I read about this yesterday. I'm gonna put it in the doc, and it seems like he got a ban. That his ban or suspension was extended to a month, which is kind of like why he literally was not doing anything this week. So it's like why would you do that? But yeah, I feel like this is extremely silly. I think at worst they should have just taken the picture down and been like, "Yo, don't do that again."
Right.
Because it's like it's not his fault. It's like sure, it's his fault for sharing it, but at the same time, it's like maybe Ubisoft shouldn't have put that in the game. Maybe, just saying. So it seems a little unjust, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that if Sony's going to be selling a game that, or a product of any sort, I guess, that has this content in there, intended or not, I don't think somebody should be punished for using the features that they purchased as well as the content from the game that they purchased. Now, if they wrote some sort of explicit message or something like that on the PlayStation Network or something like that, then maybe we can talk about suspensions or banning or censoring or something like that. But this is taking it a little too far. I think that it's a good way to start a conversation about this, but not necessarily to just start wielding the ban hammer.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with Myles that I I think you should have been warned first. I mean, I kind of get Sony's stance that maybe you don't want people posting explicit material. I understand that the game is rated mature, but there's not necessarily a rating on the social community or social interactions. But I think that they were too harsh. I think a warning would have done. This guy clearly wasn't trying to cause a problem. He wasn't trying to upset anybody. He found something kind of crazy and random in a game, and he wanted to share that. That's ultimately what happened here. And so just to instantly like ban him like that seems just kind of extreme and a little bit petty.
A little bit. It's like, don't show our shame. We messed up, but don't tell anybody.
What I would be curious to find out is, it says PlayStation Network's terms of service make it clear that defamatory or offensive materials breach your contract, stating users should not share anything that is vulgar or use community features to harm or alarm anyone. I mean, should not share anything that is vulgar. Like, what does that necessarily count as? I mean, like, just uploading a photo of yourself doing something? Like, or is it just literally anything in a game now, like, you could be, like, suspended for?
Because if that were the case, then everyone playing Destiny in year one, when everyone was crouching in front of the Crypt Arc back when
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, that's pretty vulgar in my opinion, because it's like you're not blatantly showing what you're doing, but everyone knows what you were doing. So
it's totally open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Well, and I would argue that it's probably based upon American morality sensibilities too, because I guarantee you that you show some explicit part of male or female anatomy, they're going to jump all over that. If it was like Trevor Phillips from Grand Theft Auto 5, like hanging around like just like a pile of bloody bodies, I guarantee you they probably wouldn't have said shit about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Founded by Puritans. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's silly. I hope he gets it. I hope the ban is lifted earlier, because that's just kind of ridiculous, really. Picture should have been taken down. Warning given. That's it.
Yep, that would have been an absolute fair and proper reaction.
Yep. But what isn't a fair and proper reaction? Make that work, Jordan. It's in your ball court now.
2 years removed from its initial announcement, the film based on Naughty Dog masterpiece The Last of Us has joined Halo and other high-profile game adaptations in production hell. While talking to IGN, producer Sam Raimi opened up about the problems, citing infighting between creative director/writer Neil Druckmann and Sony about the film's direction. Quote, "When we went to Neil with Ghost House Pictures, we were hoping to get the rights like we do any project, and we'd take it out and sell it, but we'd control the rights," he says. With this one, we went to Sony, who I have a very good relationship with, but they have their own plans for it, and I think Neil's plan for it, I'm not trying to be political, Neil's plan for it is not the same as Sony's. Raimi then followed up by saying he is still attached to the project. Quote, "I'm not sure what that means," he admitted. "Right now, it's just sitting there. They don't want to move forward, and it's not my place to say why." And Neil, I think, is in a slight disagreement with them about how things should go, so there's a standstill, and I don't have the power to move it.
That's unfortunate. I know a lot of people would like to see this happen. So
I think I honestly don't want to see a movie at this point. I don't think it could be a good movie. I think they would have to take out way too much content that is incredibly important to the character development of both Joel and Ellie. I mean, if you take out all the cinematics and put them together at this point, like in The Last of Us, it's well over 2 hours.
no.
To see everything. So it's I don't like it. I don't want it. I'm fine with it not happening.
Adam, what do you think? Are you okay with this?
I'm just kind of like a little bit surprised, because I was just doing a little bit of research, because I was just going to make a remark that if they bump it back a couple years, they'll give a chance for Maisie Williams to age up into the role of Ellie. But she's like 19.
Yeah.
Yep. Now she's gonna stay that size forever.
She's a munchkin cat. Just never gets bigger.
I don't know. I mean, there could be a good movie in Last of Us. I mean, like you have to cut out some content, but I think the right person could, and unfortunately this really hasn't happened for video games, so this is just really theoretical talking right now. But there's somebody who I think could make a really good Last of Us movie that takes a lot of what goes on in the game and then basically kind of makes it their own. I think it's possible. The odds are definitely against it because we haven't seen, like, how many video game movies have we seen attempted? How many good video game movies have we actually seen? We've had this conversation before, but I don't think it's impossible. But I'm kind of indifferent because, admittedly, I'm slightly indifferent towards Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
I think it was an incredible game, but I thought it was like. It's because I remember the year it came out. I think I've talked about this before, that it was an incredible year for games because it was like the swan song of like the last cycle, and so it was a year in which I played BioShock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Last of Us all in the same year. And to me, like, Last of Us just kind of felt like an Oscar film that Oscar film that tries to be an Oscar film.
Fair. So. Myles, do you mind if we jump to the Reedus Fetus real quick? Because I actually chose it to go in line with this.
I mean, do you want to kind of just read out the free stories?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I mean, that's all we have between us and the Reedus Fetus.
Yeah.
So, free stories that were worth mentioning. Xbox Preview program is evolving. Go look that up to figure out what that means. I don't remember. Xbox Holiday Update has been pushed out, I guess. I don't know. I don't have an Xbox, so go figure that out. Lin-Manuel Mandela was taught the map of LA from GTA San Andreas. If you don't know who that is, he made Hamilton or something like that. That's kind of cool. Watch Dogs 2 teaser is real. There's a teaser in the game that's actually a real game, so there you go. That's cool. And EA is developing an open world title, and that's pretty cool too. All these things are cool. Go check them out. Reedus Fetus.
That was a nice recap right there.
No,
okay.
It wasn't. I literally had like zero information.
That was great. No, I liked it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this actually comes from Neil Druckmann in an interview with Rolling Stone about Uncharted 4. So, like, kind of take it a little bit with a grain of salt, but I thought it was relevant to the Last of Us thing since Neil Druckmann is called out basically in that quote. So the quote goes, "Can you balance passion versus settling down? That to me is the heart of this thing, which mirrors a lot of our lives as game developers. I'm sure you've read about crunch and how difficult that can be on personal lives. We've all joined this industry with the hope of affecting people, touching them in some way, which is why we work so hard, sometimes to destructive outcomes." I think this speaks a little bit to, like, at least how Neil Druckmann, like, looks at things that he's worked on, like, with a great deal of passion. And that, if he decides that the Last of Us movie that they have planned isn't going to be the best possible iteration that it can be, he's not going to want to sully its name with something subpar.
I mean,
Sully wasn't in Last of Us.
What?
You're a horrible person.
Wow.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, that's true. Anything. There's always that phrase, anything worth doing is worth doing right. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to make a movie, it's better to make the movie and make it be really good than make something that's like, hey, I got it out the door. Then everyone's like, this is really bad, Neil. This was bad and you shouldn't have done it, Also, I'm sure he looked at Uwe Boll and was like, I don't want to become that. I don't want to become that angry ball of whatever nationality he is.
And sometimes they're in the right, but sometimes also, like, people that have that kind of opinion are just kind of pretentious douchebags who think that their work is so good that it's, like, untouchable. I'm looking at you, particularly Alan Moore, right now. Because, it's like his whole big line about nobody should be able to make movies out of his books. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, Leaving Extraordinary Gentleman was atrocious, but...
Yeah, no, it wasn't good.
But, like, the fact that he crapped all over, like, V for Vendetta, which was, like, a very good movie. Yeah. And I personally am, like, a huge, I'm admittedly, guiltily, like, a huge fan of the Watchmen movie. Though it had its issues, I think you can't call that a complete disaster.
There was no octopus, therefore it was bad.
that was one of the things that was good about it. He actually had the foresight to go, like, there's no way we're going to be able to explain this ending in a movie, so let's make it something that like is palatable to this medium.
I liked the ending more.
I was so excited for that movie because I wanted to see the octopus on live screen. And I was so excited. And then it was a bomb, and I got bored.
Basically, that movie is just worth it for Jackie Earle Haley and Harry Dean Morgan's performances in it.
Who are they?
What?
Who are they?
The Rorschach and the Comedian.
Okay, all right. Oh, okay.
And for those of you out there who don't know, the same actor who played the comedian is the same actor who's playing Negan in The Walking Dead
yes, he
series,
is.
and he is incredible.
Well, more importantly, he was the Winchester's father in Supernatural.
That's a
Oh,
fact.
was he?
Yes,
And he was also Thomas Wayne.
he was.
That's a true.
He had one line, and it ruined the movie. That movie was. Ruined.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, we're not turning back at this point. That's fine.
I'm just saying. All right, yeah. Moving on from the Reedus Feetus Quote of the show, we're going to go ahead to the thought from nowhere, which is the thing that makes our titles make sense. So, what are your guilty pleasure games? And that comes to us from our own writer, Tyler Fisher. Thank you.
Was our own writer.
Former writer.
He's with Dual Shockers now.
Oh, okay. I don't keep track of everything.
He got scalped from us.
Well,
Good for him, though. Good for him.
Hey, yeah, move it on up, man. I'm all about that.
But yeah, what are our guilty pleasures? Mine is DC Legends because I know it's not very good, but I still play it a lot.
Adam, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I can go. Probably wrestling video games, probably, because admittedly, I feel bad that I call it a guilty secret because I shouldn't be ashamed of it, but I'm kind of a wrestling fan, and I don't bring it up because unfortunately there's this kind of perception of what the wrestling fan is, and I'm not really that. I mean, obviously I know it's fake, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it as a form of entertainment, even knowing that it's fake.
All right.
Me and my friends are the kind of people that appreciate it, and then we look at it as kind of like a meta storytelling thing, like much like when we look at a comic book or something. And so we have discussions not about like who's going to win because one guy's going to hit that guy, the other guy's so much harder. We like discuss it from like the perspective of like what the company is doing and what would be like the best overall story the company could be telling, that kind of thing. So I'm actually like to consider myself like a fairly intelligent wrestling fan. But a lot of people, when they hear you like wrestling, they just assume that you're just like.
Well, and I mean, I think a lot of people don't really think of it as like a storyline, like a plot. Like people talk about Game of Thrones, for example, like it's real life. Like, oh, is this character going to do this? I don't know. We'll have to see next week what happens. Like, it's basically the same thing. Like, speculating is half the fun of watching something.
Jordan, what's your guilty pleasure?
So I think that a lot of the games that I play are kind of guilty pleasures in a lot of ways. Like generally, if I think that if a game that I play requires too much explanation, it's a guilty pleasure. And unfortunately, like there are a few games that I play that are way too complicated of a storyline in order to explain, like Dragon Age or Metal Gear. But there is one that you actually reminded me of tonight, Miles, with the DC Legends thing. I play Heroes of Dragon Age on and off.
Okay.
Have you heard of that? Do you know what that is?
I think I played it for a few minutes way back when it first came out. It came out with Dragon Age 2, right?
Yeah, around the same time.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
And basically, like, it's kind of my drug in between Dragon Age games. I generally don't like replaying them. I've played Origins a couple times. 2, maybe twice. I really haven't played Inquisition more than once. So like, whenever I'm jonesing like something from the Dragon Age universe, I just load that thing back up and like just kind of mindlessly throw my heroes at random crap.
I had to touch base because you kind of really hit on something there, Jordan. There is like nothing worse as a gamer than like somebody who's not a gamer politely trying to make conversation or politely trying to show an interest, asking you like what you're playing or what the game you're playing is about.
Right.
Like I remember like not so long ago, my mom tried to ask me about what I was playing, and I was like replaying Danganronpa at the time, and I had to try to explain that to her. I'm like she probably is like really questioning like what her like grown ass son has grown up to at this point. That's like what he's talking about.
Honestly.
And then yeah, go Miles.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I always like go into way too much detail whenever somebody like expresses any interest in it too. So I'll just go overboard, and the person will just like glaze over, like, what did I get myself into?
I think that's like the worst thing because like when I'm talking about games or comics, I like to go into like you enjoy going into detail because it's something you really enjoy, and I hate when I have to like temper myself. Like I have to like I can see that like the glazing starting to happen. I'm going a little bit too far, and I have to like pull it back. And essentially, it's like I'm telling this grand, awesome story that was really amazing. They're starting to lose interest. And I'm just like, yeah, it was okay. I really liked it.
I really want to see like I really like to be like a fly on the wall when like Miles has to try to explain like the Binding of Isaac to somebody.
I don't explain that game to anybody.
Okay, that's probably a good place to start.
I explain what a roguelike is, and that is it. Because I'm not going to try and explain Binding of Isaac to anybody. One of the most refreshing conversations I actually had in a long while was like a few weeks ago. I think I was at my gym, and I had just like gotten done with a workout, and it was me and like one of the coaches there, and it's just us because everybody else had left. And I'm just sitting there drinking my protein, and he's I think cleaning up and getting ready for the next class, and he's like, so you play games, right? I'm just like, oh my god, I've had this conversation with everybody in here, and he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, what do you play on? I'm like, PS4. He's like, oh, I have a PS4. I'm like, oh, I'm expecting like, I play sports games because that's what everyone else says. I'm a gamer because I play sports games. Not that isn't true. It's just like not the same. And I'm like, yeah, I mostly play Destiny. He's like, oh, really? Is that worth playing now? And I was like, I hate that question so much. And then he's like, yeah, because I actually I beat Crota and everything. I got all the way through all the content. I'm just like, oh my god, you're asking me this question legitimately, not just to be a douche. It was so nice to have a conversation with somebody who's like actually knows what they're talking about that I just did not see coming. But yeah.
I always make a mistake. I always make the mistake of like trying to kind of justify how much I love Metal Gear. And it's like I'll like get really into it and like really deep. Like it's about like political like differences, and it's like a Japanese perspective on American military, and like it's just like all these deep things, and like without fail, every single time it'll be something like, so tell me why in the first game Meryl's butt's important? It's like, why is this the only takeaway that people get from these games?
To be fair, like I think a lot of times with like Japanese games, they make it difficult to justify them because it'll be like they'll be going along so well, and it'll be like, okay, this is like really kind of deep, and like this is really cool, and then it breaks out into some like really weird sexualized moment just for whatever reason, and then you have to go like, yeah, okay, I like this game.
I think that's why I think that's why I can't really watch anime anymore. It does the exact same thing, and I'm just like, I'm watching it, I'm really into it, the story's great, and then it goes into the ecchi fan service stuff, and I'm like, I don't care about this. Just like I just want to watch people get hit in storyline. One Punch Man is the best anime to come out of Japan in the last like 20 years because they don't do that.
I've watched most of that, actually. I really liked what I saw so far.
It's really good, and it's really enjoyable.
Well, that's kind of why I think Persona is as good as it is, because it's like a game that doesn't rely on a lot of that.
Not a lot, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean it's there a little bit, but it's much more toned down than like even like Danganronpa. As much as I like it, has some real questionable moments where I'm like, why am I watching this?
Yeah, that happened to me with another anime that I was watching recently. So I've talked about it on the show before, but like my favorite anime is Madoka Magica. And recently I watched the movie that comes out that's supposed to like take place after the series, and I'm like super excited for this movie, like and started watching it, and like the first 20 minutes, it's all these shots of like these 12-year-old girls' boobs and like their like under the table like upskirt stuff. It's like, what the hell is this? Why is this happening? The movie has completely different problems in it. Like besides that, and like I have begun striking it from my memory. But yeah, they just like ruin crap. Like, to be fair, the show itself like really doesn't have any of that, but the movie's bad, and I was upset by that to begin with.
I think anyone who knows what that show is and what happens to that show is probably just like, what is wrong with you, you horrible man? That's the one with like the weird little white demon creature thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What's wrong with you, Jordan? That's
what? I
horrible.
mean, what?
That's horrible. I'm kidding. Everyone enjoys what they enjoy, and it sounded like an interesting storyline. I'm just like, I can't handle bad things happening to kids. I can't handle that.
Oh no, it is brutal.
Yeah,
that's part of what I love about it, though.
I tweeted at Atlas when I first started playing Persona 4. You know, your cousin, little girl.
Yeah.
4? Yeah. The moment I saw her character, I was like, I just tweeted, if anything happens to her, I will riot. I can't handle bad things happen. I don't even like kids, but I don't want to see bad things happen to them.
She gets better.
Something happens to her?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I didn't know that. I wasn't that far into the game yet. Anyway. Yeah.
It's not ending stuff, but yeah.
I will riot. Our closing segment, as per usual, we record on Tuesdays, usually, that's our new schedule, at 9:30 EST PM. So that's my time, 9:30, and then figure out your time zones from there. We record on Tuesdays, and when you user release, it'll release before the next day, before too far into the next day. There you go. You can email us at contact.mong@gmail.com if you'd like to suggest any thoughts from nowhere, or if you have questions or ideas or whatever. You can also find our... Excuse me, my nose. You can also find our Mong Twitter account, which is at mong.com. The dot is spelled out. You can find us on YouTube at Mong Network and Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays. Mong Network is for podcasts. Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays is for gameplay. Twitch channel is Mong Plays, and of course that is where you should be when we're live with the podcast, talking, chatting, etc. Keep Lord Jesus Crust company and all that. On top of that, you can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. Just look for Middle of Nowhere Gaming or Mong. And our website, of course, is middleofnowheregaming.com. That's where everything goes up, whether that's editorials, news, reviews, podcasts. Everything will hit that site at one point or another if it has to do with Middle of Nowhere Gaming. And also, if you want to be awesome and help us keep the lights on, because having a website is not free, unfortunately, please go check us out on Patreon. I admittedly don't know what all the tiers are. The only one I know is making Jordan drink ketchup. So, if that ever happens, we'll do it live. Jordan, every time I say that, must think to himself, I really need to change those.
It reminds me. I always forget to.
One day it's going to be too late, Jordan.
Please, somebody give us $200, and that would be great.
But yes, and last but not least, if you'd like to find us specifically on Twitter, I am Furious Milk. Adam is...
Fanboy_Adam.
And Jordan is...
Probably going to be changing his Twitter name soon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. What is it right now, though?
You got me. It's JL_Fleur.
There you go. So, yes, that is Mom Podcast episode 145. What are you guilty of? I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to go ahead and close out the podcast right here. I don't have an outro.
Good day and good week.
Ropes and sticks.
There we go.
Watch cats.
Bye.